Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you out there, depending on wherever you are in the world when I am posting this video. It may not be evening or maybe in a different time zone, but we're going to connect here and we're going to see what messages are coming up for the next 24 hours. For all those who happen to see this video, whenever you happen to see it, if you happen to see it when I post it, if you happen to see it in a few weeks or a few months, we're setting the intention here for a message for your next 24 hours. Alrighty, my dear. So the card we have coming up is the Three of Swords. Now, don't panic, don't freak out, don't get scared, because I will say this. A lot of us are already in this energy right now. It's already happening. It's already going on. It's not necessarily that something is going to happen. Or if it's going to happen, you may already intuitively feel that it's coming. You may already go, oh, I know what this is. I know what this is. I know it's coming. And so the Three of Swords is a card that traditionally has to do with we may feel like we've made a sacrifice in vain. We may feel like we're being betrayed in a situation, and there's heartache involved. But the way that I feel the majority of people are feeling this energy right now is in connection with awakening and in opening up to receive. So sometimes in my readings, Three of Swords comes up when we're waking up and we're seeing the truth of a person or people or situations or an organization. We start to open up and see the truth. We start to see the malice. And sometimes it's coming up because there's a big blessing coming your way. A lot of us are opening up to receive right now, especially those of us who've been blocked for a very long time. We're opening up to receive. And so a lot of the times I see the Three of Swords come up when there's a really big blessing coming your way. And your angels and guides are trying to show you who the people are that don't deserve to have a piece of this blessing. Sometimes we think just because people have been in our life for a long time that there's some kind of loyalty there, or that they deserve to be blessed when we receive our blessing, because we think, oh, well, you know, these people or this person, they've been with me since the beginning. Meanwhile, you don't realize this whole time they've been talking about you behind your back, or they've been undermining you, or they've been drilling holes in your boat, so to speak. So I see the Three of Swords come up a lot just before this blessing comes in, that your angels and guides show you that like they show you where the snakes in the grass are, the people who are not meant to be blessed with your blessing, who are not meant to partake of the gifts that are coming your way. And this can hurt and this can sting and it can be intense. But a lot of you have heard me say this before. It's not a sting or a hurt that's going to last a very long time. Once it's out of our system, we're good. It could be very intense but very brief. And I've given the example of back when I used to teach preschool, and I would take the little babies to play on the yard for recess, and one would fall and get hurt. They would scream and yell like it was the end of the world. And it was genuine. It was real pain. They weren't faking. But you give them an ice pack or a Band-Aid, you give them a hug, and like a minute later, it's like nothing even happened. They're off, they're running around, they're playing, they're laughing, they're a dinosaur, a superhero, whatever. It's like it never even happened. And that's how I see the Three of Swords a lot of the times. It's intense, but it's brief. And once it's out of our system, we return to life with a zeal for life, with a desire to experience and to play. You know, sometimes we just need to know what is not for us so that we can let it go. And as soon as we do that, we open up for what is for us. And so your angels and guides may be showing you at this time, this is not what you believed it to be. Right? And this whole time you're like praying and you're saying, God, I don't understand why. Why won't you let me have this? I want this so bad. Like, Why won't you let me have this? And guess what? A lot of you are coming into the time where it's going to be shown to you, this is why I won't let you have this. This is what's beneath the foundation. This is beneath what's beneath the surface, right? Like, again, here I come with something out of the Bible. I've told you guys a lot of the times my guides will bring up scripture or Bible stories to give an explanation of a situation, because it was so drilled in my head in my youth. A lot of you know I learned to read from a children's Bible, so it's very, very ingrained. Biblical things are very ingrained in me. So I'll give you the example of when Jesus was rebuking the Pharisees, and he said that they were like the tombs. They were like the graves, the whitewashed graves. Like, outside they seem so beautiful and pristine and well taken care of, but underneath it's like it's rot, it's death, it's bones, it's nothing that you're gonna want to partake in or be around. On the outside, on the surface, it looks great, but on the inside, ooh, you don't know what's on the inside. You don't want to know what's on the inside. And so for some of you, that veil is being lifted, that curtain is being pulled back, and your angels and your guides are saying, okay, this is it, my dear, this is it, my darling, this is why we're not letting you have this. And you're like, wow, this is heartbreaking, because I thought so much more of this person or these people or this organization. Okay, when you start to see the rot, it can be very heartbreaking. But it's happening so that you know, like, look, we're not trying to keep you from something that's good for you. We're keeping you from bad things. We're keeping you from things that are undesirable. And you think this whole time like you're missing out. You're not missing out. And we're going to show you, because now you might be ready to receive that. You know, maybe in the past you couldn't accept that or you couldn't receive that, but now you're ready to receive that. And so it's being shown to you. It's being shown to you the truth and who people really are, their true character, their true identity, their true colors coming to the surface. And this can be devastating. For some of you, it's a realization, okay? I don't like to get too personal. Every so often I'll share something personal with you guys because I feel like it might be helpful for you. And so, or like maybe somebody else can relate. But I know a lot of what I've been releasing. You guys know that I was busy the past few days with visitors. I had my family in town. And my grandmother kept coming up in my mind. And, you know, from the time I was very little, and this is probably, a lot of this is a cultural thing. Oh, and of course, Maxie needs to go outside now, one moment. From the time I was like 4 years old, like before I even started school, she used to tell me, you know, one day your family's not going to be your family anymore. When you grow up, you have to get married, and you have to take care of the house and take care of your husband, and you're going to go and you're going to live with his family, and you're going to take care of your parent, you're going to take care of his parents, and his parents are going to be your parents. And she would tell me these things, and it would like freak me out, like as a little kid, you know, that's like stranger danger, you know, like what is she saying to me? And you know, obviously these days maybe it's not going to be exactly like that. I mean, I was born in America, I grew up in America, a lot of things in America aren't like that, but you know, maybe it was traumatizing for her to have had that experience, and so maybe in her mind she thought, oh well, I'm going to prepare her so that when she grows up and gets married and goes and lives with this her husband's family, it's not going to be traumatic for her. And I'm single. I'm very, very single, super single, not even dating anybody right now. But she kept coming up in my mind. And so for me, the message there was being around my family, and I keep hearing my grandma, like understanding and realizing that life is taking me from a different direction. Maybe it didn't happen through marriage. Maybe it didn't happen through the old school way of where, I go and I'm like the daughter-in-law and like, taking care of the household. Maybe it didn't happen in that way. But just the realization that the things that I'm being guided to do and the ways in which I'm being guided to help people is taking me away from my origin. And so that can be hurtful. But at the same time, I see a lot of things about my origin that I don't align with, I don't believe in, I don't agree with. And maybe it's a soul thing, maybe it's a past life thing. I love my family. I don't have a shred of resentment towards them. I think they're wonderful people in their way and in their right, but there are things that I can't align with. There are things that I'm not a part of, and I can't be a part of. And so, for some of you, it could be something like that. It could just be the realization that it's time to go in a different direction. That the things that I'm manifesting, the things that I meant to do, there are people in my life that I still care about. I can't take them with me. They're not going with me where I'm going. And so for some of you, that is the Three of Swords. It's like you're realizing that you're healing. You're realizing you're ascending. But you may see around you the people that can't go with you. And so there's a bittersweet element of that. The door is opening. You're going to walk through the door, but there are some people that you just have to leave behind. And you know that they're not going to catch up to where you are. They're not going to see things the way that they are. And sometimes, because this separation can be difficult and can be painful, sometimes your angels and guides will pull back the curtain and say, look, this is really what you're leaving. You might see ugliness. You might see real ugliness. And it's like, okay, well, this is going to make it easier for you to move on. This is going to make it easier for you to step away from this situation, because you're seeing that this is not what you thought it was, or this is not who you thought it was, right? You're like saying, I can walk away from this person or these people or this organization. I can leave it behind me. I can be done with it, right? And so for some of you, it's just kind of sad and heartbreaking to see how somebody is at the core, or who they are at the core. Okay? So it's a heavy message. I know I'm going to spend the rest of my evening doing cord cuttings, doing some prayers. I'll take a nice long sea salt bath, and I'll have my candles and my incense, and I'll do my spiritual bath. And maybe for some of you, it might be a good time to do something like that as well. But definitely, it's time for release, time for clearing, and time to let go of what's not meant for us, so that we can open up to what is meant for us. I'm going to keep you all in my prayers, sending you love, light, healing energy. You may want to check out the weekly forecasts if you haven't already. Those are linked in the description of the video. Love readings for July are linked in the description of the video. And if you would like to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link in the description of the video that will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a fabulous day ahead, my dears. We'll see you in tomorrow's message. Be well and take care.